Afternoon po, Attorney Roque.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Chair, my first question po, I'd like to ask, is Mr. Roque aware of a certain Alberto Rodolfo DELA SERNA?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, sino po si Mr. DELA SERNA?
He was my EA in Malacanang. He was a member of my election staff. And until March of 2023, he was still in my private staff.
March of 2023. Paano po kayo nagkakilala ni Mr. DELA SERNA?
Nagkaroon po ako ng project nung ako po'y kongresista na request ng mayor ng Tagbilaran. And it so happened that the project was in the barangay where his mother used to be barangay captain. So nagkaroon po ng inauguration around 2019 at doon po kami nagkakilala doon sa inauguration ng proyekto ng multipurpose hall sa kanilang barangay.
So Mr. Chair, he has roots in Bohol.
Yes, in fact, he is a full-blown son of Bohol.
Born and raised, taga Bohol po talaga
Born and
siya.
raised po.
But from my understanding, he found himself, of course, aside from your employ, he found himself in Porac, Pampanga. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, dahil siya po ay nasa isang aviation school ngayon sa Clark. After we severed ties in March of 2023, was it March 2023 or March of 2023 or 2024? After he severed his ties, umuwi muna, and then he apparently chose to pursue aviation rather than law school dahil ang lolo po niya ay isang famous lawyer din.
So he pursued laws. He pursued the aviation school in Clark.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And because of that, he had to move from Bohol to Pampanga.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And he somehow found himself in the compound of Porac. I believe in another hearing that we've had, you have confirmed that in fact you, is that correct, Mr. Chair, that you introduced him to Cassie Ong?
Yes, he met Cassie Ong for the first time because he joined us after a court appearance. I think it was for lunch.
So he met Cassie Ong through lunch, still under your employ at the time?
No more. He was already there in Clark. He was preparing to start his aviation school. He started in November, so we must have met Cassie Ong around October because the case that we represented, the Whirlwind, started in August.
Mr. Chair, if he was no longer in your employ, what was his business in that lunch?
Well, he happened to be in Pampanga, and I know that he was in Pampanga because he's told me that he is pursuing aviation school. So he just happened to be there. I happened to be there. I said, okay, magla-lunch kami, you can join us because tapos na naman yung hearing by that time.
And Mr. Chair, the lunch with Cassie Ong was in relation to your function as lawyer for, as you say, Whirlwind.
Yes, it was for the ejectment case of Whirlwind.
Is that normal practice, Mr. Chair, that when you are having lunch with a client, you would bring in other personalities that might not have anything to do with the subject matter of your meeting?
Pinagbibigay alam naman po, no? And of course, I asked if my former staff could join us for lunch, and sabi naman ni Cassie, no problem.
Okay. This has nothing to do with the fact also that, at that time, he was not yet living in Porac?
No, he was not. He was, in fact, in the process of looking for a place to stay in Pampanga.
And Mr. Chair, was that how he was able to find a place to stay with Cassie Ong? Through you?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because after I had left, they continued talking, and Mr. De La Serna inquired that he was in fact looking for a place to stay na sana malapit sa aviation school, and he was informed by Cassie that meron silang mga accommodations.
Mr. Chair, and you were present during that conversation?
Nakaalis na po ako noon.
Nakaalis na
po ako noon.
And how did you come to know that they came into that arrangement of sorts?
Sinabi naman po sa akin later on ni R, nagpaalam din siya. Ang sabi ko lang is meron lang tayong temporary respite dahil na-withdraw, na-recall yung writ of execution, pero suntok sa buwan yung kaso, so prepare to look for more permanent living arrangement dahil it's a 40% chance of victory na baka mapaalis nga sila doon sa lugar na yon.
And prior to, sabi po ninyo, no, nakaalis na po kayo when they discussed the terms of arrangement ng residence niya sa Porac, if ever. Were you aware of his intention to ask Ms. Cassie Ong for residence?
Hindi po. Hindi ko po alam naman na naghahanapan niya ng residence itong si Cassie Ong. Nag-small talk lang po sila after I had left and lumabas nga po na naghahanap siya. Nagpapatulong siya na magpahanap ng matitiran.
Did you not find it strange, Mr. Chair, that he chose residence in Porac, which is 50 or so minutes away from Clark?
Hindi ko po alam kung gano'ng karayo talaga yung Porac sa Clark, no? Basta lahat naman po yan siguro malapit. So I did not find it strange. Ang warning ko lang is there's a temporary respite. Baka mapaalis yan. So humanap ka ng permanent na matitiran mo.
So, Mr. Chair, it would appear that this would be the second time that Mr. Attorney Roque has facilitated a meeting of which he claims he has no interest in. The first, I believe, would be the supposed meeting between Cassandra Ong and Chairman Altenco. Would you say that's a fair statement, Mr. Chair?
I arranged that meeting, but ito naman po, it was just a casual meeting. There was no particular purpose involved. It was just that I was in Pampanga. Matagal ko rin naman pong naging staff itong CR. So, I know that he was there because naghahanda nga siya mag-enroll. So, tinanong ko, nasaan ka? Oli ka, join us for lunch.
So, Mr.
Ganun
Chair,
lang po.
coincidence seems to follow Mr. Roque. Mr. Chair, may I ask, the residence of the Mr. DELA SERNA, this is the same residence that was raided during the POAC raid sa Poro?
Isa po doon sa mga buildings. Pero ang explanation po niya is hiwalay po yung tirahan doon sa lugar kung saan naroroon ang negosyo. So he was living doon sa area na puro living quarters lang po.
But it is within the compound, Mr. Chair.
Actually, hiwalay po siya eh. May dalawang gate eh. Isang gate papunta doon sa residence, isang gate papunta doon sa where the business is conducted. So hindi ka makakapasok doon sa gate na where the business is conducted kung ikaw ay nandun lang sa accommodations.
It is not where the business is conducted. However, business documents were yielded from that raid. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Wala pong business document as far as Pogo is concerned dun sa raid na yon. Hindi ko po alam kung ano talaga ang nakuhang raid because I'm not involved in the motion to quash as far as Lucky South is concerned. No?
But Mr. Chair, I believe in another hearing that we've had, you claimed that the documents that were yielded from his residence in relation to you were from that residence, Mr. Chair. I believe they were bank documents and appointment papers?
Yes, these documents were personal documents to Mr. DELA SERNA. They had nothing to do with Pogo.
But they are not related to Pogo, but they are business documents, Mr. Chair. They are official. Appointment papers po siya, hindi ba?
Well, yung appointment paper po niya, yung siya initially appointed sa Malacanang, isa po yan dun sa nasa files niya.
I would say that's business po. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Chair?
Well,
Let's
hindi na
put
po.
Pogo aside. Business papers po yun. Appointment po yun.
Well, government po appointment yan. It is more of memorabilia kasi ang appointment po niya every 6 months. And that was his first appointment. Hindi naman po permanent appointment yan. No? Every 6 months po nare-renew yung mga appointment ng mga staff ng classification ni R.
Are your banking documents also memorabilia, Mr. Chair?
No, but the banking documents were appended to a visa application because naimbitahan po ako ng Ukraine at meron pong gera sa Ukraine. Nabago po ang mga plano. So yung mga original na dapat kasama ko umatras. So ang sabi ko, kung wala ka pang ginagawa, at sabi niya, wala pa naman, di pa naman siya nagsisimula, samahan mo ako dito sa Ukraine. So ura-urada po, we had to get a visa from the Polish embassy kasi doon po ang entry point to Ukraine. But the Ukraine government, being the sponsor, arranged our visa for Ukraine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for that very long history of the appointment papers. Mr. Chair, so yung residence po niya in that compound, or you say it's separated by a gate or two, it is the same place that has been raided by Porac.
That was raided in
also the
Porac.
same office address that is subject of the two subleases between Whirlwind and Lucky South 99.
I am not sure po because from the news, I know it's 49 buildings. Plus, meron pang separate corporate office na parang hotel, no? So I am not sure if that's the same address.
But that address is the same subject of the ejectment case that you were handling Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, but the ejectment case was on the basis of transfer certificate of title, not address, Mr. Chair.
So your supposed dealings with Whirlwind were discussing the same subject property. The sublease, at least based on our records, as you say, there are 49 buildings, but I think the area properly describes the same subject area. And this is also the place where Mr. DELA SERNA's residence was and where the raid yielded documents related to you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair, it's a 10-hectare property which consists of 49 buildings in addition to what used to be hotels, I believe, being used as offices, not just by Whirlwind but also by the lot owners, the crews.
Mr. Chair, akala ko po sabi po ninyo na di nyo alam kung kasama po ito sa
Alin
subject
po?
ng sublease, that particular building. Pero you mentioned now that
hindi
you
po.
confirm now that it is part of the 49 buildings.
No,
if the large 10-hectare
Sinasabi niyo po na ang ejectment case po is involving the 10-hectare property, pero yung renade po, may mga buildings na hindi kasama dun sa lease apparently, no? And that's just basing on newspaper reports. Kasi pati po yung isang building doon na parang hotel, na parang bahay o office ni Mr. Ruperto Cruz. Di ko po alam kung nasama yun sa search.